Good afternoon. Let me start by thanking all of our students and parents who are joining us today. I'm Anthony Jenkins. I am the president of Coppin State University. And today we are having a town hall discussion with our students and our parents to talk about our return to campus and to answer any questions that you may have about that entire process. So let me pause for a moment, and I'm going to ask my chief of staff, Angela, to introduce our COVID-19 task force. Now, this task force has played an integral role in helping to develop the plans, parents and students, that is going to govern how we function over the next 15 to 16 weeks together for the fall semester. So at this point, I will hand it off to Angela and have her acknowledge our Coppin COVID-19 task force. Angela?
Thank you, President Jenkins. The Coppin State University COVID-19 task force members are as follows: Angela Galliano, Chief of Staff, Project Manager; Provost Leonte Lewis; Dr. Michael Freeman, Vice President of Enrollment Management and Student Affairs; Stephen Danick, Vice President for Administration and Finance; Dr. Ahmed Eleghan, Chief Information Officer and Vice President for Information Technology and Institutional Advancement; Derek Carter, Director of Athletics; Matthew Frailing, General Counsel and Legislative Affairs Officer; Dr. Tracy Murray, Dean of the College of Health Professions; Dr. Siobhan Darden, Associate Director of the Health Center; Dr. Lisa Early, Associate Vice President of Human Resources; Dr. Dion Kerbeam, Deputy Chief Information Officer; Dr. Erica Covington, Faculty Senate President for the 2020-2021 year; Dr. Charlotte Wood, Faculty Senate President for the 2019 to 2020 year; Student Government Association President Crystal Chukwu, 2019 to 2020 year; and SGA President Essence Bennett, 2020 to 2021 year; students Monet Myers and student Alexis Sullivan; Karen Barlin, Registrar; Kevin Pertee, Director of Residence Life; Kendrell Edwards, Director of Housing; Michelle Reynolds, Director of the Center for Counseling and Student Development; Reginald Love, Director of Business Services; Roy Thomas, Director of Facilities; Anthony Littlejohn, Staff Senate President; Sheila Chase, Staff Senate Vice President; Lieutenant Lawrence Ames, Campus Safety; and Aaron Singleton, Director of Communications.
Thank you, Angela. To our parents and our students, let me also again thank you. If you are a returning student, I want to thank you. I want to thank you for your ongoing commitment to Coppin and allowing us to be an integral part in your life and shaping your educational destination. If you are a new student and you will be entering Coppin for the fall, I want to thank you for selecting Coppin. We know that you have multiple choices and opportunities, not only here in the state of Maryland, but across the nation. And for you to select Coppin says a lot about us and how you value our ability to help you reach your educational dreams. And I want to thank you for that. For our parents, I also want to thank you. There's no greater asset that you have that's more valuable than your son or daughter. And for you to entrust us with their educational development, I am humbled by that. So I thank you very much. We're going to spend the next hour and a half together talking and answering questions so that for my returning students, you understand that we're going to continue the same ethic of care that we've provided you, and we're going to take it up a level. And for our new students, we're going to introduce you to what we're going to be doing here at Coppin and what it means to be a part of the Coppin family. All right. So I know that all of you have been tuned in daily to the latest news regarding COVID-19 and how it's impacting our state and our community and our nation. And the changing environment and its implications have not been lost on me. This fall is quickly approaching, and some of our students and faculty and staff have started to return to campus. Some of them have never left campus. They have been working diligently all summer to make sure that Coppin continues to move forward. And when we decided to have a return to campus, they wanted to make sure we were continuing to position the institution in the right way. So I want to thank them. I know that many of you have questions about Coppin's decision to return to campus for this fall and to teach in a low density model and to have a low density residential component to the fall semester. And I have had conversations with several of our campus stakeholders, as well as our community leaders regarding my position to return Coppin for the fall. And as Coppin's president, I feel profoundly responsible for the wellness and the safety of our students, those who work here, study here, and for those who also call Baltimore home. You know, the path that we are taking during this pandemic, it is driven by data, science, and both our mission and our commitment and values, and nothing more. I want to be clear about that. The choice for us to have a return to campus mode of operation is built on the understanding that many of our students, they learn better in a face-to-face environment. We also know that Coppin is that family support to so many of our students that they need. And Coppin is a place of security and serenity, and also a place to provide the support for our students to continue their journey towards graduation. And that is important. And that is why I am committed as president to make sure I do everything I possibly can to keep our campus environment safe and our students off to a great start for incoming students and for returning students continuing to move towards graduation. You know, our students' path towards graduation could not be done or accomplished rather without our incredible faculty and our amazing staff. And they are going to be on campus. They're going to be committed to our students' safety and their well-being. They're going to be committed to delivering an instruction that is challenging and supportive and done in the safest environment possible. Over the last few months, we have assessed our plans. We have walked through our plans. We have looked at multiple scenarios and hypotheticals in preparation for the fall semester. And as I said earlier, I want to thank our incredible Coppin COVID-19 task force for doing an outstanding job, for their thoughtfulness, their insight, and their expertise. You know, our plan, although still evolving, has been developed relying on evidence-based best practices laid out by national experts, local experts, and by university experts. We have also had the support and the resources of our Chancellor, Chancellor Perman, our USM team, the Board of Regents, and my fellow presidents across the Maryland system. And let me be clear, students and parents know our plan is not perfect. There is no perfect plan. But what I will tell you is that as the president, I feel very strong and confident that the plan that we have in place is going to help to develop a safe environment for you as a student to return and for you as a parent to send your son or daughter to continue or to start their college career at Coppin. And as you can imagine, none of this is easy. And that is why I thank our students and our parents for their belief in us, for your patience, your understanding, and your unwavering commitment to Coppin. You know, this fall, it is profoundly important that we keep our campus as safe as possible. We will continue to use signage and multiple campus-wide communications, as well as videos and other methods, such as social media, to help students understand what the environment is going to be like when they return and what to expect, because we must have high standards when it comes to self-responsibility and accountability. So with that, I want students to understand that it is imperative that you follow the guidelines of social distancing and wearing your mask while on campus. When we return to campus this fall, all members, faculty, staff, and students who will interface with campus will be required to undergo testing. Now, let me say this. If you are a student and you have had a COVID-19 test prior to July 22nd, you're going to be required to be tested again. If you are a student who have received a test on or after July 22nd, then you do not have to be retested. I want to make that clear. This coming Friday here at the university, we have set up an opportunity for those students who have not been tested to receive testing here at the institution, free of charge. So we'll talk a little bit more about what some of the testing dates and options are. But for all of our students who will be living on campus or who will be taking classes face-to-face on campus, or who have to come to campus to handle any type of official university business, you will be required to show that you have been tested and are negative. Your information will be submitted to the University Health Center, and we'll talk about that information just a little more to make sure that we answer all of those questions. And so these are some of the steps that we're going to be taking. We have quarantine methods in place. We have ways that we are going to make sure that if you are a student returning or if you are a parent sending a student to us, that we have meals that we are going to serve and provide our students in a safe and healthy environment. We want our students to come and enjoy our beautiful campus, but I want you to do it responsibly. And I want to make sure that you do it in the safest way possible. So at this point, I look forward to the wonderful questions that you may have, and let's engage each other in a great conversation over the next hour. With that, Angela, let me turn it over to you and see if there are any questions coming in from our students and parents.
Are nursing students coming to campus for class or clinicals?
Yes, so that is an excellent question, and we have the dean of our nursing school on a line with us. So let me yield to Dr. Murray, have her chime in, and then I will follow up. Dr. Murray?
Can you go ahead?
Okay. So let me talk a little bit about why Dr. Murray is getting ready for us. So yes, students where there are courses that require you to have face-to-face courses, those students will be coming to campus. There are about 62 classes that we will have that are face-to-face classes. And so, yes, nursing students will, I am certain that some of those 62 classes will include our nursing students. I'll get the actual exact number for you. But yes, we will also have students, nursing students, who will participate in their clinicals. And our nursing department has outlined all the guidelines for that to happen, and to happen in a safe and productive manner. And so let me ask Dr. Murray to add some more substance to the actual question, and she can drill down just a little further. Dr. Murray?
Can I ask you, Ms. Galliano, because I have some interruption, if you could just repeat what you were want us to focus on?
Sure. Are nursing students coming to campus for any classes or clinicals?
So thank you so much. The nursing students are not physically coming to campus because they will be going physically to the clinical agency, and they will be taking care of individuals who do not have COVID positive symptoms, but to decrease the risk to the campus, they will be doing their work remotely, and then they will just have those operations of the hospital for their clinical.
Thank you, Dr. Murray. And also, let me say for our students and our parents, we will have an opportunity, if we do not get to everyone's question, which I anticipate that we'll have the opportunity to do that, We'll also have an opportunity for you to submit questions for us to follow up and to answer for you even after this town hall has ended. All right, Angela, what's the next question?
Please explain the hybrid learning style and why we will be fully virtual after Thanksgiving.
All right, excellent. So the actual hybrid style, as we've indicated, based on our conversations here on campus, there are a number of courses that we believe are important and more beneficial in a face-to-face setting. That is also because we believe, as I said earlier, that some students simply learn better in a face-to-face environment. And so those courses that tend to be a little more challenging, we want to make sure that we provide the best opportunity to get our new students off to the strongest start possible. And then we felt in our broad conversations across campus that after Thanksgiving, that once students either they go home or they travel, we wanted to make it as convenient as possible for those students to finish out their academic semester. So at that point, we decided to flip campus and finish out the rest of the semester in an online modality. Let me bring in our provost, Dr. Lewis, to add a little bit more as to the actual operation for academic affairs throughout the semester. Dr. Lewis?
Thank you, Dr. Jenkins. Good afternoon, family. Good afternoon, students. As Dr. Jenkins indicated, majority of our courses will be virtual for the fall semester. And if you access our website, either on the homepage or if you go to our COVID-19 link, you will see the list of courses that will be offered face-to-face, and then the list of all courses that will be offered during the fall semester. And as you see, it's a small number of courses, those challenging courses that Dr. Jenkins mentioned, and those labs and demonstration courses. And we're doing everything to make sure that as we progress through the semester, we are anticipating that maybe at some point we will make sure that those who have issues accessing those courses, whether it's quarantine or illness, that we're providing you with alternatives if you were in that face-to-face group. And so we're just asking you to do your part and to let your instructor know if something occurs and you cannot participate in class, whether it's virtual, whether it's face-to-face. But we are going to do our best to be flexible and to work with you to help you achieve your academic goals. And so once you access that site, share your questions with us, and then we'll be able to respond. And if you are in a course that is slated for face-to-face offering, and you are at risk, then that's where you need to let us know so we can make a transition to help you find a full schedule. But we're here to serve.
Thank you, Provost. All right. Angela, what's the next great question?
How long does it take to get your results back once you are tested?
Excellent question. So let me bring in Dr. Murray to help us speak on that. And again, we are offering testing this Friday, August 14th, for returning students. And so with the process that we are using, Dr. Murray, what are we anticipating our turnaround time to be? I know typically it's somewhere between 48 to 72 hours, but let the expert talk a little bit about that. Dr. Murray?
We anticipate it'll be 3 to 5 days to get a response back.
So 3 to 5 days for us to get our response back. Again, that is important because for the students who are coming to campus, if you have taken a test and you have your documentation, we want you to submit that to the student health department, okay? If you have not taken a test and you need to do so, then we are providing the opportunity for our students to be tested here on campus. And those results then would come back and you would submit them to our health center, and students would then have full access of the campus and the face-to-face courses that is a part of their schedule for the fall. Okay? Another question, Angela?
What happens if a student was already locked in for housing but tests positive for COVID-19?
Excellent question. So we have with us Dr. Freeman, who's the Vice President for Enrollment Management and Student Affairs. Let me have Dr. Freeman chime in on that conversation. What would happen if someone was had tested positive and they had already secured housing? Is that the question? Okay. Dr. Freeman?
Good afternoon. There are a couple of different ways to answer that, because one is if the student is tested positive prior to arrival, we would ask that student to delay their coming to campus because we would not take them into the residence halls with a positive test. If the student has taken a test and the positive result comes in after they have moved into the residence halls, we've made arrangements through a partnership with the Baltimore City Health Department, University of Maryland Medical School, and Lord Baltimore to care for those students that test positive on our campus. And they would provide 24-hour around-the-clock care, including meals, laundry, and also the kind of oversight that they would need from a medical standpoint. In the case of a positive situation with a student, we would seal their room for 24 hours. We would immediately clean the suite, the rest of the rooms and the bathroom facilities within that area. And then we would come back after 24 hours and clean and sanitize that student's room so that we're protecting all of our students within the suite area and within the floor in the residence hall. And Dr. Murray can chime in if I missed something.
You're excellent.
Thank you.
So, and let me say this to the students, because I also want to make sure this part of, if this was a part of the question that we answer that. If you are a student who elected to stay on campus and your test comes back positive, all right, you're not going to lose your room or your space. Okay, so let me be clear about that. All right, we will hold that space while we help put the wraparound support services you need to get healthier and get better. Once that occurs, we want you back into the campus community, back into your room, and continuing on your pathway towards bigger and better things. Okay. All right, Angela, we have another one.
Johns Hopkins and Morgan State are both now all virtual. Why is Coppin proceeding with bringing students on campus?
Excellent question. And Johns Hopkins and Morgan State universities are two independent institutions, and their leadership made a decision they believe was best for them. Coppin, as a part of the USM system, we've made a decision, and we believe that the decision to return students to campus is important. It's important for our students. It's important for us. Many of our students, as I indicated earlier, this is their home away from home. This is their safe haven. This is a place that provides consistency and support for them. And we want to make sure that we provide that for our students who are in need. And while I can appreciate the decisions that Johns Hopkins and Morgan made and the data they used to make that decision, the data I use and the experts that I spoke with also supported my position for us to return to campus. Students and parents, let me be clear. I would not be behind this effort if I felt as though we were not prepared to welcome you back to campus. As the president, it is my job to make sure that you are in a much better place from being associated with Coppin, not harmed in any way. And so I want you to know I feel very confident and very strongly about the plan we have in place and the decision that I've made. I also need and want you, as a member of this community and as part of the Eagle Nation, to know you must do your part. It is important. It is important for you to do your part, whether you're on campus or you're off campus. So I believe that we made the right decision for Coppin and for the students of Coppin. And so it is my hope that you support that, if you have any additional questions, I encourage you to bring those questions forward, but to know we have looked at every possible situation we can to make sure we've developed the right environment for our return to campus. Okay? You got another one, Angela?
Yes. Is the internet connectivity going to be working well since all of the students have to do online classes?
Excellent question. And let me say, Coppin State has one of the best IT infrastructures in the USM system, period, hands down. The same mode of operation we used throughout the spring semester, it was more than capable and sufficient to handle all of our students, all of our technology needs, all of our faculty demands and staff. And so I have no concerns in believing that our IT infrastructure will not keep us moving in an upward direction through this fall. So students, parents, don't worry about IT or internet, connectivity once you get on campus. We have all of that taken care of, and there'll be no problems. All right.
How are students supposed to purchase books?
We will be purchasing books through our bookstore. Obviously, we will have an actual process laid out to where we are limiting. Again, we are operating in a de-densified model of operation. So even in our bookstore for this fall, we will be capping the number of individuals who will have access to the bookstore at any given time. So through student appointment and through hours of operation and crowd control, we will be working to ensure that students have access to their books. If they are physical books, and if they have ebooks, then clearly our technology platform will help move that process along quicker. But we anticipate no challenges with students getting their books. And I'm encouraging all of our students to get your books on the first day that you get here, as opposed to the first day of class, okay? So we want to make sure you are ready and prepared when the first day of class kicks off.
The next question, can we talk with the staff in financial aid, and will there be any freshman orientation activities?
So the question is, yes, you will have the opportunity to interface with staff around campus. So let me go back again and just reiterate, when I said that we're operating in a de-densified model, we have identified essential personnel who will be located in each area, office area, and department across campus. And they are there to help facilitate whatever needs you as students or parents may have. And so you will have access to them. And much like many of the other restaurants and businesses and different type of establishments that you may have visited over the last several weeks and months, we have put safety protection methods in place for you, our students and parents, and for our team. And so we did that with the understanding that you would need to have some face-to-face interaction with the professional staff in these respective areas. Dr. Freeman, anything you want to add to that, seeing that the question was specifically about financial aid and having the opportunity to talk to their financial aid counselor or advisor?
I think you handled that question well, Dr. Jenkins. Let me just tie on to the orientation piece of it for new students. I want to tease a couple of things for the new students so that they know that we are planning activities for them. And I've got a list of them in front of me. I won't go through all of them. Let me just tease a couple. So a talent show is being planned, a scavenger hunt is being planned, a movie night is being planned, and the students are being very creative about these so that we're not going to have you just sitting around looking at the walls. We will have things for you to do. We will introduce you to the campus. But absolutely, financial aid, admissions, records, they are all open and ready to receive students and to work on any issues that they may have. Thank you.
All right, thank you. And students, let me say this: when we talk about getting you back to campus and so forth, let me challenge you now. I'm going to throw down the gauntlet. As president, I am very well keen on making sure I'm interacting with my students. So I will be walking around campus, and if I see you, I am likely to ask you a question about Coppin or Coppin's history. If you can answer that question correctly, there is something in it for you that's big. So do your homework, study Coppin's history, and be prepared. All right. So if you see me walking around campus and I approach you, understand at the end of our conversation, if you're able to answer my questions, you could be in a much better place than when that conversation started. All right. What else do we have, Angela?
How many people will be in the classrooms, and will there be any spaces between the students?
Excellent question. In our de-densified model, everything that we do, we are limiting the number of people that will occupy any space. We have cut our residence halls capacity to 50%. So we are not bringing back all of our students in the residence halls. We will not have all of our students in the bookstore or multiple students in the bookstore simultaneously. Our classrooms will follow that same process. We will have a limited number of students who are taking the face-to-face classes. We are moving our classes to larger lecture hall structures so that we can accommodate more space in between students. Okay, you will see signage throughout every building on campus, on walls, on the floors, in elevators, and so forth, that will give you guidelines of what 6 feet of separation looks like. And yes, we will take that same approach in our classrooms. Students, you will be met by a faculty member if you have a face-to-face class, and that faculty member will be wearing a mask and a face shield, okay? And so we want to make sure, again, we're taking every possible step and every reasonable step to make sure our environment is as safe as possible. So that is what you will see when you return or when you join us for this fall. And let me bring in my provost, who is jumping at the bits to say, jump on in here, provost, and touch on something that I forgot. Go ahead.
I just want to add to your remarks that the facility staff have already blocked off seats in the classrooms so that the students will know where they cannot sit to make sure that they maintain that 6 feet distance. So that is already done by the facility staff to make sure that the students have that safety.
Thank you. Thank you, Provost. Let me also add, before we go to the next question, Angela, with regards to cleaning our campus. Students and parents, cleaning our campus is a top priority. What your students will notice, parents, when they get here, and for my returning students, what you will see is that classes will be cleaned in between use. So when one class is over, our cleaning team will come in, they will clean that room and get it prepared for the next class. Doors will be closed, and there will be a cleaning signature tag that is attached to every door. That tag has to be broken before that door can be opened. If a student approaches a door and the tag is already broken, then that room has not been cleaned. Okay, but after we clean every room, we will seal that room and attach that tag, which would need to be broken before one can enter our rooms. We will also double down on cleaning our common shared spaces across campus and bathrooms throughout campus. Now, again, students, this is a partnership. You are now a part of the Eagle Nation and the Coppin family. I need you to do your part, all right? I need you to wear your mask. We will have a hand sanitizer throughout campus, all right? I need you to use it. I need you to help us with the 6 feet of separation. Listen, I know it's gonna be hard, right? If you are a returning student, you are going to come to campus and see someone that you haven't seen, and your first inclination is gonna run up and hug each other and talk and all of these things and so on and so forth, okay? Listen, I don't wanna set in paranoia, okay? That is not what this process is about. I want you to enjoy your campus, but I want you to do it responsibly, okay? I want you to help follow the guidelines and the policies that we have put in place, okay? So Angela, what other question do we have? You're on mute.
If I am assigned to a face-to-face class, but live with a high-risk family member, can I take that class online?
Yes, you can. Now, again, we are going to be as flexible as we possibly can, all right? And we want you to have the mental reassurance that we're not going to put you in harm's way or put you in any more stressful of a situation than you may already find yourself in. So if you are taking care of a loved one, or if you need to be at home and you've been assigned for a face-to-face class, then yes, we will adjust your schedule. We'll work with academic affairs and make any of the necessary adjustments so that your fall semester starts off the way you want and ends the way you want. Okay? You got another one for me, Angela?
You mentioned online and virtual courses, hybrid and synchronous and asynchronous courses. How can we tell the difference using Eagle Links?
Excellent question. All right, so I'm gonna bring my provost in to talk a little bit about that, and then I'll follow. Okay? All right.
Thanks, Dr. Jenkins. As I referenced before, if you go to our website, you will see a link to the full fall courses. Courses have been tagged with a CV for coronavirus and a number. And so those courses are going to be offered virtually. If a course has a 400 digit, of course, you know for continuing students that means that course is completely online. If it has a section number, then that course is face-to-face. There is also a separate link for face-to-face courses. However, with the question of whether the course is going to be offered synchronously or asynchronously, that information is going to be communicated directly to the enrollees by the faculty. Not all courses will be synchronously offered. Some will not be. And so the faculty will alert you as to whether or not that is the fact for that course. There's some of those notes right now in the course list that is available on site, but not every course has been identified as synchronous, the same time that it would have met face-to-face, or asynchronous, fully online. You can access the information at any time. And so my quick response is reach out to your faculty member or look for a communication from your faculty member to tell you whether or not your course is scheduled for a face-to-face, for a synchronous offering virtual platform.
All right, so let me do this, all right? Because Provost, if they understood that, that would be incredible, all right? We need to simplify that. All right, so this is what we're going to do, students and parents, based on what the Provost just said, and she said a lot. And so we are going to work very quickly behind the scenes to make sure that our faculty gets something out to you based on your schedule that will help you understand what your course classification is. All right, I think that's the easiest way to do it. and the most simplest way to do it, because you lost me at the second asynchronous, and I'm not even a freshman, okay? All right, what else you got, Angela?
If we are adapting a virtual approach for the fall semester, then why charge full prices for room and meals and tuition?
Excellent question. That question has been thrown up before, and I think it is a wonderful question. And I've made the decision based on the financial structure and need of the institution that the fees that will be handed forward or passed on to students, I have supported those fees. And I think that if we began to develop this kind of pick and choose, watered down pricing of various services and so forth, I think that would be not only detrimental to the quality of the education that we are providing our students, but also to Coppin overall. And so I understand that that is a sticking point for so many people. And it is not the mindset that I want folks to have, that we are not understanding and that we are not flexible. We have to make sure that when it comes to our housing needs and the quality of our education, that we can afford those factors based on what it costs to deliver that instruction. Okay. And so therefore, even in this environment, we are not in a position to have significant reductions in tuition, room, or board. And so while I can greatly appreciate that if you are not getting everything that you would normally get, you would want to see a reduction in certain areas. And I'm confident that we have done that in some areas, but we have not been able to do that in every area. And so that has been the position that I have required us to take as a university. And any additional questions, comments, or criticism or suggestions that you may have about that, I would definitely welcome. But as of right now, the fees and the tuition for room and board and so forth has been endorsed and supported by me as the president. And I believe that it is necessary so that we continue to move Coppin forward in a way that's going to be beneficial for you, our student, long term. Angela?
Will students be able to sit in other areas of campus and do their online class instruction?
Yes. Listen, we have a beautiful campus. There's no question about that. And I want students to take full advantage of our beautiful campus and the beautiful weather that's going to await them when they return back to campus here in just a couple of days. Again, if you are in a group setting on campus and you're sitting, on one of our, one of the sections of our beautiful green lawns, yes, right, do so. But again, observe social distancing. Okay. I personally want to see you out on campus. I want to see you out on the benches. I want to see you out on the lawn. I want to see you under the tree, and I want to see you out on the plots, and I want to see you walking across campus, right? I just want to be able to see some space in between you and your friends, okay? So yes, get out, enjoy campus. This is your campus. This is your home away from home. And for our incoming students, this is your home for the next 4 to 5 years, okay? So I want you to enjoy it, and every corner of campus will be accessible. Now, let me also say this because I think it's important to underscore. It is important that students understand you will only have access to facilities through your university ID card, okay? That is what will grant you access into buildings. So we are controlling access to facilities through your student ID card, which is our standard operating procedure. But we will also it is an opportunity for us to control those individuals who have not been tested, have not submitted their actual testing documents, and they will not have access to the institution. That's why it's important for you to get tested, all right? Your access to the university is contingent upon your test, all right? Angela?
Since the fall semester is hybrid learning, will the spring semester also be hybrid or virtual?
Yeah, that's an excellent question, and we have been having some preliminary discussions, and I do mean preliminary, about what the fall will look like. Again, try not to get too far out in front of ourselves. I wanted the bulk of our focus to be on the fall because it is upon us right now. Also, we don't know what the environment will look like 6-7 months from now. And so we have not put a tremendous amount of stock into what the fall semester would look like and the platform that we would use. But I will tell you that as we kick off our fall semester and we start to move through that semester, the environment, our federal, state, local, and university experts will continue to engage each other in conversation about what our fall will potentially look like. I will keep the entire campus community as well as parents well abreast on what our mode of operation will be for the spring semester as we move through the fall. Okay? Angela?
How often will students, faculty, and staff be tested?
Great question. So we will kick off the fall semester with testing that begins this Friday, August 14th. We also have testing days on August 15th, August 21st, and August 22nd. Did I get those right, Dr. Murray?
Yes.
All right. Okay, all right, I am on a roll. And then what we will do is we will test our campus each month for the remainder of the semester. Now, if there are individuals or situations that prompt additional testing in between that 30-day period, we have the ability to adjust. But right now, based on my university experts, the actual city of Baltimore experts, and the state of Maryland experts, a testing of members of our campus community every month is sufficient, okay? And those tests will be free of charge. They'll take place right here on campus for our students. So you won't have to be concerned about traveling off campus or trying to go find some location to test you. We're going to do it right here on campus. All right.
How will clubs and organizations work on campus this year? Will there be physical meetings for clubs and organizations, or will everything be online or virtual?
All right. So, Dr. Freeman, I'm going to bring you back in on this one to talk a little more specific about our clubs and organizations and fraternities.
I'm unmuting. Yes, sir. Most of the activities for the fall will be virtual or online. Are there possibilities to have meetings, have cookouts? Yes, there are. Again, following what the president has said, if we can be responsible, if we've got a plan, if we keep those numbers down, if we're wearing masks, and if we're socially distancing, yes, there is a possibility of having some in-person, in-face kinds of activities and events. But for the most part, most of our events are going to be virtual.
Thank you, Dr. Freeman. And so students and parents, listen, when we say following the guidelines and the procedures, all right, the more we do those things, the more we can look at how we create more intimate opportunities for our students to come together. Okay. And yes, we're going to have to social distance and we're going to have to wear our masks. Those things are non-negotiable. But I do not want, let me repeat, I do not want students sitting in their residence hall room 24 hours a day. All right. That is not healthy for you. It is not a part of the college experience that you signed up for. And so in this environment, we are trying to give you the best college experience possible, either as a returning student or as a new student coming into Coppin. And also do it in a way where mom and dad, you're not laying at home tossing and turning at night, wondering what is going on with your son or daughter, all right? There is something, a Latin phrase called in loco parentis, which simply means in place of the parent, all right? And so historically, when parents took their sons or daughters to institutions, they were asking that university or that college to be in loco parentis. We want to be that, but we need everyone to do their part. We are going to care for your son and daughter as if they were our own, all right? And yes, you know your son and daughter better than we do. And you know how they can be a little stubborn and a little hard-headed, right? So sometimes we have to make sure we get their attention and they follow the policies and the guidelines for their best interest and their own good. So that's how we look to do our fall. We will do an actual hybrid. I'm going to challenge Dr. Freeman and his team and all of our students to see how we can create some outdoor socialized spacing where we are social distancing and wearing masks. And so, you know, to me, that is an important part of getting us off to a great start. All right. Angela, you have another question for us to talk about?
With Baltimore City Public Schools closed, how do education majors fulfill mandatory practicum hours?
Excellent question. And we were talking about internships and residencies a little earlier today, and I think it also came up on this call here. Provost, let me have you come in and talk a little bit about how we've handled that in the spring, because we were under the same type of situation in spring. And then let's talk about how we're going to look at that moving forward into the fall.
Thanks, Dr. Jenkins. In the spring and what we've worked out with Maryland State Department of Education, we are using, our students will be able to participate in the virtual classroom of their teachers to whom they're assigned. So you will still be assigned to a teacher in the public schools who are expected to deliver online instruction. You will support that teacher. So you will be working with the teacher as the teacher delivers those instruction. We're still waiting to hear some additional information from Maryland State Department of Education. If there's any changes, we'll be sure to let you know. But for right now, you will be placed with teachers as they deliver virtual instruction, and you will be their support to meet those required hours for certification.
Thank you, Provost. All right. Angela?
Will work study be offered?
So again, work study falls under financial aid. Let me bring in Dr. Freeman, but the actual short answer to that should be yes. But Dr. Freeman, what do you want to say about it?
Yes, Dr. Jenkins, the short answer is yes. The Department of Education has also allowed us to convert work study funds to SEOG and provide those to students as grants. So in some cases, what we're doing now, because we're also mindful of the density on campus, is that we're canvassing offices to determine who really needs a work study student now. And then those offices that actually need a work study student will grant that work study. If they really don't need a work study student, we'll convert those funds to SEOG and give the students the grant so that they don't lose that funding at all.
Correct. Thank you, Doc.
The off-campus testing sites that have been provided also have no availability, and many students are on wait lists and have been for a long time. Will there be further testing available on campus?
Yes. Let me turn to Dr. Murray. I know I outlined, I think, 4 dates earlier. Dr. Murray, what is our ability to set up some more dates and testing opportunities?
We are already working with our liaison at our agency, external agency, to identify about additional testing kits and how fast they can do a turnaround time for some additional components. And if possible, we're looking at the 24th and some days during that particular week to do some additional testing on site.
Okay. All right. And to our students and parents, listen, we understand, you know, how some of these places are backed up. And that's why we are going to continue to be flexible. But we are going to also provide every opportunity we can for you to be tested here on campus. Okay. And so we understand that there's a need to get this done. We don't want people to panic. We as the institution are going to work with you, understanding the situation that we are all in. This is not unique to just one family or one state or so forth. This is happening to all of us nationally and globally. So we are going to work with you to make sure we can get this right and get you on campus and moving forward. All right.
I am registered for, I believe it's Sociology 430 and Anthology 310. Both classes are on the in-person course list. These courses are not labs. Why aren't they classes online?
So I saw the provost gather some information to look up those specific classes. And because I cannot speak intelligently on those classes, I am going to bring in the provost to help me respond to that question. Are you ready, provost?
I am.
All right.
Angela, could you tell me those two courses again? Sociology 430 and?
Anthology, ANTH 310. I think it's Anthology.
Okay. I know that they're not lab courses, but the content of the course, the instructors warranted that the beginning of the semester, just for the first few weeks, warranted them meeting the students face to face. So the expectation is not that they will be in the classroom for the entire semester, but in many cases, it's 2 to 4 times that they will have a face-to-face interaction. So I'll make sure we get that clarified in the online listing that we have so the students are aware, other students are aware.
Good. All right. Thank you. And thank you for that great question.
Will students be able to come and go, or will they have to stay on campus and not leave?
All right. Excellent question. And yes, listen, students will have the opportunity that if they need to leave campus, they can do so. We want to provide everything that they need here. So once they are here, you know, they can remain on campus. But students will have that ability to come and go. We will have students who are living off campus who will be coming on campus for classes or to handle their actual day-to-day business. So yes, that will be a option, and we are not preventing students from going anywhere that they need to go to take care of personal business and so forth. Dr. Freeman, anything you want to add to that? And if not, fine. I just wanted to make sure that I give everybody a chance to respond to that particular question. Okay.
So for resident students, what we're asking them to do on arrival is to stick close to campus as much as possible, to sequester themselves around the campus so that the community that's living on campus can connect with one another and make sure that we're okay. Now, provided they're bringing their testing in and they're all negative and that kind of thing, but we're still asking them to, we're not forbidding them, but we're asking them to stick close to campus. That's
right.
it.
That's right. And so again, that's where we want to try and provide everything that you would need students here on campus. So you would not have to travel off and on campus. But again, let me be clear. If that's an option that you need to take, you will have that option. All right. What we want to do is to work with you to make sure that we can reduce the actual frequency of you going on and off campus and so forth. All right. Angela, who's up next?
What happens if I live out of state and don't have housing, and the course I need to take is only offered face-to-face? That will delay my graduation.
Well, we're going to work with you and find a way to make sure you get that online course or an equivalent course so that you continue to move towards graduation. Because if you are out of state and you are taking online classes and something that is standing between you and graduation is a face-to-face class, you have my promise that we're going to find a way to make it happen, okay? Because I need you to keep moving towards graduation. You have got that, Provost? All right.
I got it, and I agree with you.
All right.
100%.
So if you are that student and that is your situation, then I want you to contact Dr. Lewis, and then we're going to triage your situation and get you connected to the right entities so that we can find whatever class you need to keep you moving forward. All right.
Will the writing and math centers be available?
Yes, they will be. Okay. You will have access to the student support services, be that face-to-face or online. Okay.
How will winter sports continue for our student athletes?
So with regards to athletics for the fall semester, obviously the decision was made with our conference that we have suspended all fall sports. We are having conversations on what winter sports will look like moving forward. But again, that is a much broader conversation that Coppin is a part of with our entire conference and the commissioner of our conference. We will continue to keep our athletes up to date on what our winter sports will look like. And Derek Carter, my athletic director, will be leading that charge and driving that conversation and working with coaches and athletes so that they know what their seasons are going to look like. For our students, we will continue to find ways based on the sports that we're in a position to offer. We will find ways to keep our students engaged, whether that is through streaming or some other mechanisms, but we are looking at the entire portfolio of athletics and how it's going to work for Coppin.
If a student has a positive result and is registered for a class that requires them to come to campus, will that student have to drop that course, or is there another alternative?
No, the student will not have to drop that course. Again, we are going to convert that course into a virtual course. If it's a specific course, again, we will look at various options to make sure that we can keep you moving forward towards graduation. So no, students will not have to drop that course if it's a face-to-face course and they are dealing with a COVID positive test or some situation like that. Okay? We have another one, Angela?
Yes.
All right.
During the fall semester, I have all online classes and I will be canceling my housing. I was told that if I cancel housing, it's for both the fall and spring semesters. But what if I want to return to campus housing in the spring? Would I be able to?
All right. Dr. Freeman, I see you going for your mute button here to answer that question for me. Thank you, sir.
It's slow for some reason, but yes. You would simply contact the housing department, and yes, contracts for housing are let for the year. But if you are interested in returning in the spring, if you will let Mr. Kendrell Edwards in the housing office know that you would like to cancel for the fall and you'd like to be placed on a list of spaces available for the spring, he will do that, and then we'll consider you in order.
All right. So let me let me say this, because obviously we didn't know what the question was, and I'm going to put Dr. Freeman on the spot here. All right. Listen, if you are a student and you need housing for the spring, but you need to cancel your contract for the fall, all right, I'm going to be challenging Dr. Freeman and our team to make sure that you have your housing for the fall. Okay. All right. And I know he and his team are going to do everything they can based on the response that he gave and what I'm going to be asking them to do to try and make that happen. All right. I know I ask a lot sometimes, but this is one of those opportunities where we don't want you to miss out because of an environment that you have no control over. Okay. So thank you, Dr. Freeman. And,
not too much to ask.
Well, thank you.
You ain't asking too much.
Well, I greatly appreciate that. And so for our students, we want you back here on campus in the spring. All right. What else do you have for us, Angela?
Please describe the plan for meals. Are students expected to eat in their rooms?
So no, students are not expected to eat in their rooms, and we do have a plan for meals. I'm going to bring back in Dr. Freeman, and we can talk a little bit about that. We have worked out a plan with our food services partner, Thompson. And so, Mike, if you would walk us through what the general plan is for meal pickup for our students.
All right, clicking back in.
All right.
So the food service plan, of course, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Breakfast is available 7 a.m. to 10 a.m. Every day. Lunch is 11:30 to 2. Dinner 4:30 to 9. We've set up some reservations. We've set up some slotted times for Daly and Dedman, so that students have sort of some guidance as to when they can come and pick up their meals. We'll have,
what is Dedman and Daly to the incoming freshmen? They have no clue of what you're talking about.
Well, they should if they got a room assignment, they should know. So we have, I'm being facetious.
I know.
We have 2 residence halls on campus, Daly Hall and Dedman Hall. Typically, we try to assign new students to Daly, and so each residence hall will have a reserved time for them to come pick up their meals. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and all of this will be in a flyers and posters when you arrive. Now, there are going to be occasions when students, because of their classes or what have you, maybe can't, and we're going to be flexible again. Everything that we're doing in this environment is going to be flexible enough so that students can get what they need when they need it. So there will be 3 hot food lines. There will be a Thompson's hospitality staff, and Thompson's is our food service provider, at the door to monitor the flow of students, because of course there's a limit on the number of folks we can have in the space at any given time, and physically distance appropriately. And so they will monitor and manage the 3 lines. Students will be able to visit the following stations. We'll have a pizza station, we'll have a grill station, we'll have a dessert station, we'll have a beverage station, and all of the food will be served by the Thompson's hospitality staff. Once students get their food, the choices that they want, they will have the option to leave the facility, and they can eat almost anywhere. They do not have to go back to their rooms and eat. But again, we continue to reinforce the notion that when you're with your friends, you want to socially distance, you want to make sure that you've got the spacing that you need to stay safe. So that's generally the operation. There's some other specifics. We're going to have stanchions, say like at the movie theaters or amusement parks, to separate the lines, to make sure that people have the proper distance and so forth. So that's the plan generally.
All right. Thank you, Dr. Freeman. Okay. Anything, what's the next question, Angela?
If a course is offered synchronously, is it supposed to be offered during the time the class was originally scheduled?
Yes. That is the short and skinny of it. Yes, it is.
What is the process and details for the COVID-19 testing starting tomorrow?
The process, let me bring in Dr. Murray, who has overseen that process. And it looks like Dr. Murray is getting to us. I know that we will kick off tomorrow at 9 a.m. You will have the options of walking up or driving up to the site. It will be an actual nasal testing method, okay? And we will have our nursing professionals there who will be able to help you as the student. Will administer the test yourself. You will then have the opportunity to deposit that into an actual secure Ziploc type bag. We will then take that information, gather all of your pertinent documentation as well, and then we will collect your sample and send that sample off to the lab. Okay, that is the process in with a quick overview. Okay, so we will run from 9 a.m. to about 3 to 4 p.m. if that is correct, I believe. And then we will repeat that for the following day. Okay, so that's how that will work. All right.
Is testing being done by appointment only?
Yes, it is.
Yes.
Okay, testing is done by appointment only. And so in our efforts to have pretty good crowd control, we wanted to make sure that individuals could sign up, and it would also create a consistent method for you to know what your time slot was, so you just don't show up and then you aren't able to be tested, right? That would be very frustrating. So those time slots are required, okay? What's next, Angela?
Last semester, we were given off-campus access to different technical software. Will that off-campus access be put back into place for the fall semester?
All right, so I am understanding that it will be, okay? So we will use the exact format we used last spring, which was so successful for our campus community. And we have worked out some of the actual glitches, but we feel very strong about where we are. And so that is the same method we will use this fall as we used last spring. Okay?
What are you doing about students who have to take public transportation in order to get to campus? What sort of safety measures are in place?
Now, excellent question. Once students get to Coppin, as the president of Coppin, that is where my responsibilities go into overdrive. I would challenge students who are using public transportation to follow all CDC guidelines and all state and citywide guidelines, mask, hand sanitizer, gloves if they so choose, and so forth. Really, without having any ability to outline what steps or measures that our city transportation system uses, my authority really stops at the street at a Coppin. So what I will simply tell you is, great common sense, your intellectual strength of knowing that you need to wear your mask, hand sanitizer, optional gloves, and so forth. And then once you get to campus, all of the parameters that we're putting in place will obviously be here to support all of our students. But I have very limited information on what the bus systems or other transportation public systems are doing to secure or ensure the overall safety of their passengers. Now, I know that was not the response you probably wanted, right? But understanding that that is the best one that I could give you, seeing that I have no authority over public transportation, okay? All right, Angela, what other good question do you have? These are some excellent questions.
If you're a freshman, when will you hear from professors about classes and the materials you'll need?
All right, Provost, you want to jump in here and answer for our faculty?
Once a student is registered for course, the course is available on Blackboard. Your syllabus will be posted there. Your textbooks will be listed. Material needed will be in that syllabus. So I encourage you to access your Blackboard site for all information. And I'll make sure that the faculty also follow up with all enrollees in each individual course.
Okay. Thank you, Provost. All right, Angela, you got another one?
If students' classes are completely online and they do not live on campus, do they still need to be tested for COVID-19?
The quick answer is no, unless you have plans to interface with campus, okay? So let me try to put it this way. If you have any reason to interface with campus, even if all your classes are online, before you will have access to campus, you do need to be tested, okay? And then that test will be submitted to the University Health Center, all right? If you have all online classes and you have no need to come to campus, then no, you do not need to be tested, okay? You got another one, Angela?
Are students allowed to visit a friend who lives on campus?
All right, well, I was going to respond, but Dr. Freeman looks like he really wants to respond to this one. Go ahead. Go ahead.
You can do it.
Go ahead. No, go ahead. Go ahead.
So no, we're not allowing visitation across rooms in the fall semester. Just for safety reasons, it's very important that we limit the kind of nesting that might occur during that time. So no, the short answer is no. We're not going to allow for any visitation in the fall within the residence halls. Outside of the residence halls, at the plots, other places, socially distancing, absolutely.
Yep. Thank you, Doc. And that's what I was going to say. Clearly, let's make that distinction between on campus and the actual residence halls. And job well done. Thank you. All right. All right, Angela. I know you got a couple of good more for us.
Will the fitness center and pool be open this semester?
All right, so the answer is yes. There will be very strict guidelines around both, but the answer to that is yes, and those guidelines will be forthcoming. So again, we ask our students to stay in tune, check their university email and the alerts that we send out throughout campus. And while I'm talking on that, let me just say this. Students, it is important that you do not opt out of the emergency notification system that you are currently in. Okay, let me explain it to you very quickly. When you enroll in Coppin, we automatically put you in a system where your cell phone number can receive important text messaging and emails from the university. You have the option to go in and opt out. I'm encouraging you not to do that. You will miss out on important information that could hinder either your staying here at the institution or something that you need to know or important deadlines or whatever it may be, okay? And yes, I understand that you may get tired of receiving emails from the president, all right? But I also want you to understand that we are enhancing our communication flow during this period because it is now more important than ever, okay? So I'm challenging you, I'm asking you, I'm encouraging you, do not opt out of the emergency text messaging system, all right? And parents, if you want to receive these text messages, you can also receive them, all right? We will find a way to get you added so that you will be receiving these important messages also, okay? Now, I haven't talked it over with my IT folks, but I'm sure we will find a way to, make it happen, okay? All right, so go ahead, Angela, to the next good question.
What if students are not able to get safety materials to be able to walk around campus? Is there something in place, or are we just not allowed to be on campus?
Sure, so let me say this, students. We are providing all students with a Coppin branded mask, okay? All right, it is cool. I have one and I wear it everywhere I go. It's an opportunity for you to rep your school and to also brag and to showcase Coppin. All right, so I want you to wear it. We're going to provide that for every faculty, every staff, and every student on campus. So that's going to take care of that. We are going to be providing throughout campus hand sanitizer, all of those great things. When you go into the workout facility, of course, you'll have the actual wipes to wipe down the equipment after you use it, which is standard practice in any health facility and so forth. So you will have those safety measures that will be given to you by the university. What I need you to do is to wear it, all right? So that's the agreement. The agreement is we give it, you wear it, great marriage made, okay? What else, Angela?
Computer areas be cleaned across the campus, for example, the first floor of the library.
So say that one more time because you got cut off at the beginning. Something about computers and library and cleaning. I got that, but say it again.
How will the computer areas be cleaned across campus, for example, the first floor of the library?
Excellent question. So what students you will see, as I talked about earlier, how we will be increasing the cleaning of our classrooms in between use. We are also increasing the cleaning of our entire campus, especially our common shared areas. That would include computer labs, the first floor of the university library, and so forth. Our team will be cleaning those areas multiple times per day, okay, to include university bathrooms. So please don't have any concerns about that. That is a top priority in helping to keep any transmission of this disease down, is making sure our campus is clean, and we are committed to do that, and we have a schedule to do that across campus. All right.
You say no visitors in the residence halls. Does that include family and parents?
Okay, Dr. Freeman, my response to that is no, but let me hear what you want to say on that piece.
No, you're correct.
Okay.
You're correct.
All right. All right. What's the next one, Angela?
Can financial issues be handled online?
Yes. Now, let me say that, and then I'll bring in Dr. Freeman. Between online and telephone conversation, we can handle most matters that will be surrounding your financial aid or your financial situation. There will be documentation that may need to be sent in or brought in. And so again, that conversation or how that would work would be dictated by the conversation you're having with your financial aid advisor. All right, so there'll be no complete blanket online process, and no, there'll be no I have to come in for everything. We will have an actual hybrid model that will help in this situation, limit your face-to-face interaction as needed. Dr. Freeman, anything you want to add or correct to that statement? Okay, I can't seem to get Doc back. He seems to be on a mute, but
it's a delay on it. I'm sorry. Absolutely on target. No problem.
Okay.
Absolutely on target.
Sounds good. All right, Angela.
If we are going to be 100% online after Thanksgiving, how are we going to take our HESI A2 exam for the nursing program?
Excellent. So I believe Dr. Murray is still trying to get to me. So let me say that that is going to be done online, okay? And our nursing department, which is incredible, is going to make sure that students are prepared and have the support they need to be successful with that test, okay? I will double check on that online piece. I'm almost certain it will be online, okay? But we will definitely make sure that we have the response to that question sent out to all of our nursing students so that they know, okay? But I'm almost certain it will be online. All right.
Dr. Murray said yes, it's online.
Okay, so I have got the confirmation from Dr. Murray and it is online. All right. Give me some more, Angela. All right, so Angela's reading through the questions and here she comes now.
Is the COVID-19 antibody test acceptable for testing as well?
That is a great question. And because my health expert is not with me at the moment, I cannot speak with great specificity on if it is. But let me give her a chance to relay her response through someone and get it to me while I filibuster here for just a little bit, okay? All right, so.
Dr. Darden is also on the line.
All right, Dr. Darden, I can't see. Okay, Dr. Darden, where are we on that?
So yes, that is acceptable, but we also have to be cognizant of the dates of when that was done as well, and the fact that they don't have any symptoms, so they still would need to continue doing the symptom monitoring.
Okay.
Because we still don't know how long those antibodies last.
Okay. Thank you. Okay. All right. So Angela, give me two more good questions, Angela, and I think that'll take us to our time limit. We definitely want to be cognizant of everyone's time and respectful of their time that they've taken out to be with us. Give me two more good questions, and we'll go from there.
If I have no reason to be on campus initially, however, I find out that I need to go to campus, how do I get tested before going to campus?
So, excellent question. So what we are also going to be doing is that students, faculty, and staff, there will be an actual symptoms assessment that we're asking our campus community to take. All right. If you have any symptoms based on that type of assessment, there will be guidelines that will give you directions or some insight on things that you should do. If you're running a fever, these type of things, and so on and so forth. If you had no intentions of coming to campus and some emergency came up and you had to come to campus, then again, we want to be flexible. All right. So between Dr. Darden and Dr. Murray, we are going to look at how we administer a quick temperature test for you and ask you a few significant questions. And then we will work to getting you to where you need to be on campus so you can handle whatever important business you need to handle so that your educational journey is not interrupted. All right? Dr. Darden, does that sound okay? Okay. All right. And Angela, we got time for one more great question. No, we do not have time for any more questions. I've just been told that's it. It's 4:30. They are pulling the curtain. Thank you all very much. And I want to again thank our parents and our students for joining us. It has been a pleasure engaging with you this afternoon. I look forward to seeing you on campus. If you have any more questions, please send them to president@coppin.edu. We'll get responses to those questions. I hope everyone continues to take care, be safe, and be well. Bye now.